What's good, family? Shout out to the boss man, Jahan Rambo, for boosting up your man the YB coins on some Sylvester Stallone thing, 100%, no doubt about it. Rambo thing, no doubt, 100%. Listen, so we got some breaking news right now regarding your man's Anthony, the zesty one, yeah, Johnston. And as you can see by the picture, Eddie Hearn going through it. You can see it on his face. This really is one of the key, of all the pictures in the world I've ever seen, this is really the key headline, flagship picture for going through itness. Yeah, Eddie Hearn looked broken right now, and that's 100%. This announcement came at a press conference. Anthony Johnston announced he punking Eddie Hearn off, and he's staying loyal to his own pocket and boosting his maximum coin up with Sky. Yeah, Anthony Johnston essentially announced in the last few days that he will be staying loyal, like I said, to his own pocket, and he's going to stay loyal to bumping the fans. AJ loved nothing more than to bump the fans with $25 pay-per-views for glorified sparring sessions. That's what Anthony Johnston has doubled down with. Now, I find it funny because, Eddie Hearn's been pushing this bum platform, Bum Zone. Yeah, and that's as simple as that. And no one trying to watch Bum Zone. And for a long time, Eddie Hearn really is truly Mr. Apples and Pears. He'll say anything to anyone and try and sell anything to anyone. No shame. Complete hypocrite. What do I mean by that? Well, Dazn originally was supposed to be, we're changing the game. Yeah, we're coming in. Subscription based. Yeah, we don't believe in pay-per-view. Pay-per-view dead. Oops. Next thing we know, pay-per-view is dead, but we want AJ to keep bumping the fans. Listen, let me tell you this now. AJ really should have signed with Dazn. Why? Because listen, AJ pay-per-views aren't worth a smidgen. I'm not even sure how much Dazn is per month, but let's assume it's £8. That's how much that's over what AJ's pay-per-views are worth. Yeah? It's a travesty that there is even a market for Anthony Johnston pay-per-views. I don't understand what you man are purchasing. Genuinely. AJ fans out there, please explain to me in the comment section what you're purchasing. Because, not unless, there must be a huge market for people wanting to see pumped up weightlifters who don't want to get stuck in. Who want to pay $25 to watch a big, bulbous, pumped up bodybuilder? I don't know, but clearly there's a market. Like I said, clearly there's a market for it. You had Dazn bidding. Eddie Hearn, Dazn got punked. AJ stayed loyal to Sky. Why? Why did AJ decide to punk his own mans off, Eddie Hearn? Well, if you haven't clocked on already, Sky has the infrastructure in the UK market, which is the market that AJ stays punking the fans, mugging the fans off. They like robbing the fans. Dazn don't have no infrastructure here. They don't have. I think Sky has 20 million, 30 million homes in the UK. Dazn has what? Couple 10,000s I'd have thought. How many people have Dazn? We don't know. Yeah? So AJ knows. And this really, for me, tells you how much AJ believes in himself. Because if AJ believed he had longevity in this game, he might say, okay, let me build the Dazn platform organically, and maybe there's some more upside there. He ain't say that. AJ say, listen, I need maximum coin now. Give me the Sky coins right now. Yeah? Because I'm fixing to get knocked out some more. So let me just cash out. That's what AJ's saying by doing this move. AJ's gone for the move, like I said, of cashing out and maximising his coin situation. Yeah? And there's not even a little bit dire about AJ coin situation. AJ too nice. AJ the most overpaid. In the history of bodybuilding, in the history of weightlifting, no one's been as paid as Anthony Johnston. Yeah? Go through history. You got Flex Wheeler. You got Ronnie Coleman. Who else you got? You got Jay Cutler. Of all the big bodybuilding weightlifters, no one Even strongmen, Eddie Hall and them man and Thor, no one in the history of weightlifting strongmen bodybuilders, no one, not Kai Green, no one has made as much coin as Mr. Anthony Johnston. Yeah? He's the #1 weightlifter. Yeah, he's the #1 bodybuilder. He's the most grossing bodybuilder in the history of the sport. Now, I can't lie to you, that's a mean feat. Yeah, to be known as the #1 weight pumper. Fair play to the guy. Yeah, my name the YB, I ain't trying to knock no one's hustle. Yeah, so I rate that. From that point of view, I rate the fact that AJ was able to go from a middle class house in Watford to go into the top of the world of bodybuilding. Now, I don't think, you got to bear in mind as well, people, that in bodybuilding, it's quite rare for someone to be tall and the best or the biggest or most grossing bodybuilder of all time. AJ's got a 6'6" frame. So for AJ to be able to convert a 6'6" frame into the #1 bodybuilder, fair play to the guy. These other cats, Kai Green and Jay Cutler, they're like 5'5", tiny dons. So again, listen, I'm giving AJ his credit. He's a great bodybuilder, one of the best of all time, 100%. For me, I think Ronnie's got to be #1. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I said, AJ made more money than Ronnie in bodybuilding, but as far as actual physiques go, Ronnie for me is #1, AJ probably #2, and Jay probably #3. See that one's there? 100%. Ronnie, Anthony Johnston, and then Jay. That's my top 3. That's what it is. Yeah? But anyway, listen. Mr. Johnston, love his bodybuilding. He stayed committed. That's the thing as well. I respect AJ because he stays committed to bodybuilding. He stayed the most committed. Name me a bodybuilder in history who's been as committed as Anthony Johnston. There you go, no one. Yeah? No one has been able to, commercially speaking. I mean, yeah, Jay Cutler or Ronnie Coleman, they're big in weightlifting circles, but they ain't big globally. Anthony Johnston, who else? Put it this way. When Ronnie Coleman and Jay Cutler, yeah, do their Mr. Olympia, that's not on pay-per-view. People don't pay to watch Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman or whoever compete at the Mr. Olympia. No. So that's why I tell you, AJ for me is #1, because AJ is the first bodybuilder who's been able to convert his bodybuilding and weightlifting into a paid platform. No one, before Anthony Johnson, no one has been able to sell weightlifting and bodybuilding on pay-per-view before. Oops. Yeah, so again, I respect that, yeah? AJ the first bodybuilder to sell pay-per-view shows. And we have to respect that. Because AJ's, AJ's a trailblazer. He's the first one. He's the first of all the bodybuilders to be able to sell a pay-per-view. AJ set the trend. Yeah? No doubt about it, 100%. But listen. Eddie Hearn down bad. Eddie Hearn lost his #1 commodity. Even though Eddie Hearn operates in boxing, the whole AJ in bodybuilding. Don't forget, people. People say, "Why, what are you talking about? AJ bodybuilding." Listen, we know Eddie Hearn has a number of sports: darts, snooker or pool, whatever it is. Darts, the snooker, the boxing, and then the bodybuilding with Anthony Johnston. Yeah, Eddie Hearn got a little empire going on right now. He got all them on lock. Darts on lock, snooker on lock. Boxing, he fell off. but don't listen. Yes, Eddie Hearn fell off in boxing, but the bodybuilding, man, listen. Eddie Hearn got the bodybuilding market on fire right now. Yeah, the first one to do it. And you have to respect Eddie Hearn, the first one to be able to sell bodybuilding on a pay-per-view platform. You have to rate that. Eddie Hearn and Anthony Johnston will go down in history. The first men ever to sell bodybuilding to a pay-per-view audience. No doubt about it. 1,000,000%. So yeah, listen, you heard there, bottom line, AJ will continue selling bodybuilding. That's what he'll do to the Sky platform. He ain't trying to make no market. He ain't trying to sit there and think, wait a minute, I'm going to be real good at this, let me try and make... No, he's going to keep pumping what he's been pumping. Because he knows he's finished. Yeah? He ain't trying to build nothing. He ain't trying to plant no seeds. He's trying to cash out right now. You heard I did a video the other day. You heard him begging Fury Oh, please, Fury, please don't retire, please. Please pay me some more money so we can sell some more bodybuilding pay-per-views. That's what he said, 100%, word for word. Yeah? So, I haven't heard nothing out of Johnson's mouth. In fact, Eddie Hearn, in the last few days, came out saying, listen, it's a great fight. Even if Usyk beats AJ, we're going to do the Usyk versus Canelo fight. So, you know what I mean? Eddie Hearn's always thinking, oh, even if Mr. Bodybuilder, even if Mr. Olympia 2.0 loses to Mr. Middleweight, then don't matter because we've got Canelo, apples and pears. Eddie Hearn always trying to find a way to spin things. Oh yeah, but don't worry, apples and pears. Don't worry at the fact we lost AJ versus Fury. We've got another super fight for you. And knowing Eddie Hearn, he probably going to try and push. To be fair, I can't lie to you, I wouldn't mind watching that. Assuming Canelo beats Usyk, I want to see Canelo versus Fury. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, I want to watch that. Assuming Canelo beats Usyk, I don't see why not. I just don't. Oops. Yeah, I really don't. I don't like Usyk. But anyway, listen, I digress. Bottom line, here's the news. Johnston, no doubt about it. He punked Hearn. Hearn down bad. Hearn been mugged off. But to be fair, Hearn's in on the muggins. Because whilst Hearn allegedly or supposedly represents Dazn, Eddie Hearn represents his own pockets. So in them early years, yeah, when Eddie Hearn was giving away them huge bags, the reason he was doing that wasn't for Dazn's benefit. That was to line his own pockets. People forget that when you promote someone, Eddie Hearn really was in a weird situation. Stephen Espinosa, yeah, he represents the networks. Stephen Espinosa doesn't represent networks and fighters, and that's where Eddie Hearn's made a little bit of a niche for himself. Eddie Hearn's the first man to be a promoter and a networks guy, which meant that Eddie Hearn could take the network's money, pay that ridiculous amount of money to his fighters, of which he gets a split. Do you understand? Normally, there's a channel, or normally there's kind of a barrier. Stephen Espinosa, yeah, he worries about showtimes. Or Stephen Espinosa has some sort of fiduciary duty to Showtime. Meanwhile, Al Heyman has fiduciary duty to his fighters. That's how it normally works. So when they're negotiating pay or whatever, someone's always looking out for the network. Oops. Eddie Hearn comes along and played a blinder. Because when Eddie Hearn was paying Canelo $300 million for 5 fights or whatever it was, he getting 10% of that. Oops. Yeah. Same as AJ. When he was paying AJ $100 million for this and $50 million for that, he getting a percent. There was no... Eddie Hearn had no loyalty to Dazn. All he cared about was lying in his own pockets ASAP. Yeah. Lined it up nicely. And what did Dazn really get for that? What? Taylor vs Serrano. Come on now. Come on now. That's what they got. Wait a minute. So I went there. Eddie Hearn did all these weird paydays that made no sense, like AJ versus Ruiz for $50 million. Like what? You know what I'm saying? And what did they get 5 years later or 4 years later? What have they got? Oh, we got Taylor versus Serrano. Wow, that's what they got. That's where this was heading. You know what I mean? That's bottom line. Eddie Hearn said, listen, yeah, we're going to pay you all these massive fees, and what have you got to show for it? Nothing. Dazn have no assets. They have no contracts whatsoever. That's the bottom line. Yeah? And that's how they lost AJ. Because how business is supposed to work here. It's supposed to say, okay, AJ, we're going to pay you loads of money, but we want something for that. And that's why, look at the UFC. The UFC, that's what contracts are for. Dazn should have come in and said, listen, AJ, yeah, we're going to pay you a whole bunch of money, but we want you in contract, so you can't then run off to Sky. Otherwise, what's the point paying you a whole bunch of money? Oops. But again, Eddie Hearn weren't thinking about doing his real... Eddie Hearn. In boxing, there's a law, or in the US at least, there's a law. Managers can't be... Boxing, a manager and a promoter can't be the same person. For this exact reason, but it's obviously a different link. It's a different part in the value chain or the supply chain. But Eddie Hearn played a blinder and punked off Dazn. Yeah? I think there was some news article the other day, Dazn, 500 mil in the hole. That's mainly Eddie Hearn, to be honest. I'm not going to lie to you. That's mainly Eddie Hearn, burning through that, 100%. That's just what it is, people. Yeah? He spent all this money paying overpaid things and got nothing for it. The bare bones minimum should have been, listen, we're going to pay you a bunch of money, but we want you in a 5-year contract. That's how it normally works. Well, otherwise, what are you paying for? Who does that? Who pays a whole bunch of money for one-off fights. Don't make no sense. Unless it's a mega fight, which AJ hasn't been in. For example, I mean, AJ versus Fury, that might be a fight that you don't mind paying one-offs for, but AJ hasn't been in no colossal fights that can really justify that. AJ versus Ruiz was not a one-off fight. It wasn't. That should have been one in a string of fights. It's a bit like Canelo and Canelo's deal. Did that happen on... No, that was on HBO, I think. That was the last fight on HBO or something. So Dazn paid a whole bunch of money, 400 mil, and didn't even get Canelo versus Golovkin. They've had to now repay him again. But like I said, that's what you see from Eddie Hearn. Dazn paid out 400 mil to Canelo, and they didn't even get one big fight. That's a fact. Let's be real now. What big fight did they get? What big blockbuster? Oops, there weren't one. Yeah? That's because Eddie Hearn, his pocket got lined nicely. Oh, 10% of 400 mil, that's 40 mil, oops. Yeah. But anyway, listen, I'm just explaining to you how it went down. Yeah? That's why you see what's happened here. You see AJ punking Dazn off, no loyalty. Eddie Hearn laughing. And Eddie Hearn would have been... Oh, Eddie Hearn's part sad, because... Well, the only reason Eddie Hearn's sad now is because Dazn... I did videos on it a little while ago. Eddie Hearn's mad now because Dazn have clocked on. And that's when they started removing some of his benefits. Yeah, Eddie Hearn don't fly first class no more unless he's paying for it himself. Dazn have proper reined in Eddie Hearn. And that's why recently you've seen Eddie Hearn become a lot more bitter. Yeah, because Eddie Hearn was thinking too short term. He was cashing in early. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do all these stupid deals that make no sense for the company, or make no sense to Dazn. And then obviously they clocked on. And now Eddie Hearn's sweating, thinking, damn, please AJ stay, and AJ gone. AJ finished. Oops, 100%.